Welcome to your Inspirational Astrology Horoscope for Wednesday, February 26th, 2014. I'm Astrologer David Palmer, the Leo King, here to illuminate the collective consciousness. Well, my live webinar, Going Deep into March, is on Friday. Please join me because we're going to go deep into March, what this portal is that's opening up here, and what all these planets are doing, especially because they're going to be shifting very intensely. Check out the registration link below if you want to join us on Friday. And today we have got the moon in Aquarius, which goes quite well with this Pisces energy. I think in our lives, we've gone through so much of this pressure on decisions to make and goals to reach. And today it's the electricity, whether or not we feel electricity in the path or not. Where are we going to disconnect from? Where are we going to connect to? It's not so much about decisions anymore in the physical sense. I think it's now about excitement. What are you excited for? Where do the dots feel like they can connect and where do they not make sense? This is us looking at the world at different angles, especially in our imagination. We can really trip ourselves out into some really far out places, and especially the future. Aquarius is the sign of the future. Aquarius is the sign of innovation. Where are we ready to, in our path spiritually, in our connection of what the signs are coming in our life, what are we ready to connect to and what are we ready to ditch? One thing about Aquarius, and be careful with Aquarius, is when they're done, they're done. They can totally disconnect, and that's what makes them so special, is because they know when to disconnect. The only way to go help somebody is when you are able to go and do it. And sometimes that can be difficult when you see the water bearer, which Aquarius is, going out and having to give water to the next set of troops. You know, they're going to have to leave and go somewhere else. And that can sometimes be hard, as in our lives, we're all having to go to where the future is calling us. And we have to look at our lives, especially in the doors opening, because we have Jupiter and Uranus, which are at their dead, pretty much square over the next couple days. And to see all these events happening, Mercury getting out of a retrograde in 2 days, this new moon coming, the Sun and Jupiter are starting to trine. The universe is trying to open up a really big door here. But you know what? There's comfort zones that are going to be tested. And there's really a sense of vulnerability in all of us, that we're going to have to still find a vulnerable spot to go into. It doesn't matter how much we think we can control it. The dots are all connecting to a certain aspect in our life. And I think today they show where they're connecting. This is where it's connecting. But our emotions are going to have to learn to find comfort in these new roads. Learn to define ourselves correctly. That we're going to have to take courage into directing our ship in a certain path, trusting the universe to come with the wind and blow us in the right direction. And we know, because the signs are directing here, the dots feel like they can connect. The people, this is also about people. This is the sign of Aquarius. This is about connections. These are about groups. These are about, especially with Venus trying to come out as it's making Venus is starting to square Mars, which is showing, you know, the right moves to take with the right relationships are very important. And I think there's a lot to weigh out, but I think there's end goals with certain people that make sense. And today's the day where things just can really make sense if you're paying attention to behind the curtain. Now, we do have Mercury retrograde, and it's basically stopped. So communication, things that are happening, especially with communication, are really at a freeze frame point. It's almost like the universe today is putting a Polaroid on us today and tomorrow of like a very weird angle in our lives to look at. And, you know, it's showing us which directions to go. It should feel clear as a bell to you. But it can be very confusing if you're not paying attention to signs, if you're maybe trying to logically make sense of this all. This logical energy is very kind of suppressed, I would say, in a way. And especially when you see Mercury stopped in an air sign like Aquarius, we're getting some really weird looks at our life. Believe me, this energy is going to switch here in the next couple weeks, and we're going to be in a totally different story. Not even in the feelings that we've been having and, you know, all these weird energies. The universe is about to do this, I call it gargantuan shift. And I think we have to be prepared. The Sun and Jupiter wants you to get your imagination to open up to all doors, to see all possibilities. And I think that it's important for us to see the possibilities of our emotions finding comfort in these fantasies we can create, in these paths that Spirit is guiding us on. There's a healing that's taking place in all of us by going into these new paths. And we need to surrender to that. You know, the only way to heal is to surrender. You know, when you get a cut, you got to surrender to it healing. You know, you can put as much Neosporin as you want on it. You can put all the things, the bandages. But at the end of the day, after 2 days of that, you're like, oh yeah, whatever. All right, universe will take care of this. My body will take care of this. You know, in all of our lives, there's a big, powerful destiny that lies in front of us now. And we have to prepare correctly. And it's going to take us into zones we know we must go. There are comfort zones that we must have to make some sacrifices in. There are big decisions that we do have to make. There is a trail we must set on. And the North Node and Mars are basically conjunct. It's about courage. It's about strength. It's about finding your inner peace and your inner harmony. But the only way to get there is to go for it. You know, we have to barge into the revolution. We need to barge into the beautiful aspect of the garden. We have to present ourselves. We need to go in there. We need to find people and relationships that relate with us perfectly. And today's a day where it will make sense or it won't. And that will help you. I think decisions are kind of already made. I think that inside yourself now, it's the last bit of directing the wind or directing the nose of your ship of your life and being prepared for the universe to take it off. And tomorrow is going to be the dark of the moon. And really tomorrow is a deep day. So I will talk about tomorrow more, but I'm letting you know that today's that last day of final wrap up from the universe because I think things go real quiet tomorrow. So use today really efficiently and see what the Polaroid picture is snapping for you to take a look at in your life today. Check out my website, inclusiveastrology.com, if you have any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one reading. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you tomorrow.